Good morning, students, and welcome back to the next class. And please close your eyes and pray for 1 second. Okay, we have almost come to the end of that chapter, life processes, and we have seen different life processes that are taking place in human being and other organisms. We discussed about excretion. And excretion is removal of waste material which produced during metabolic reactions in the body. In our body is undergoing so many reactions. Such reactions are called metabolic reactions. These metabolic reactions produce waste material, and the removal of this waste is called excretion. We have seen how human being in our body, how the materials are removed, waste materials are removed. And we discuss about the structure of kidney and how it functions. You can see the blood from the heart is brought to the kidney through dorsal aorta, and the branches of dorsal aorta get into the kidney renal artery. Branch of dorsal aorta is called renal artery, and it branch and rebranch. And inside the kidney you can see so many units are there, and these units are called excretory units or filtering units are there. This is called nephrons. We studied each nephron is having a cup-like structure called glomerulus, and the blood vessel that is entering the kidney, it branches, rebranches, and inside the glomerulus it will form a network of capillaries, and this one is called the glomerulus, and the filtration takes place. You can see here inside the glomerulus the blood is a part of the blood will leak out, and then the leak out part will go through a U-shaped tube called a renal tubule. When it is going through the filtered waste materials, and the waste materials will contain useful things also. It will be reabsorbed by the renal tubule. Finally, you can see it will be connected to a collecting tubule, and from the collecting tubule, all the collecting tubules from various nephrons join together, and finally it will go out to the ureter and store in the urinary bladder, and periodically it is when we feel like urination it will send out. And this is how excretion, the main excretory system in human being. Now we are going to see the last part, not much, excretion in plants, how excretion takes place in plants. You already studied that plant produce two gaseous waste material, carbon dioxide and oxygen. During daytime, you can see plants do photosynthesis, and after the photosynthesis, the byproduct is one of the byproduct is oxygen. You already studied. Carbon dioxide will combine with water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, and carbon dioxide will combine with water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. And you can see glucose will be produced. Glucose formula is C6H12O6. That is glucose. And you can see another product is oxygen. And this is actually a waste product during photosynthesis and during daytime. And this oxygen is sent out from the plants by simple diffusion. You know, a lot of oxygen will be there inside, and it will be just go out of the plant by diffusion. Nighttime plant also will produce carbon dioxide by respiration, and this carbon dioxide also, the opposite of this reaction will take place. Nighttime breakdown of glucose takes place, and oxygen will be taken and carbon dioxide will be released. So these are two waste material. Daytime oxygen and nighttime carbon dioxide is produced by the plant. And these are removed from the plant by simple diffusion. Diffusion, I already told you, movement of molecules from high concentration to low concentration. Simple, the movement of the molecule is called diffusion. So when there is carbon dioxide inside the plant, it will diffuse out, simply go out, and oxygen also will. So this is two important waste product of plants, oxygen and carbon dioxide, and they go out by simple diffusion. Then other waste materials include water. Plant continuously absorb water from the plant, from the soil, water from the soil, and this water is the excess water will be removed from the plant by a process. You know the process. The evaporation of water from the aerial part of the plant is called transpiration. So the excess water is removed by transpiration. So transpiration is the method by which water is removed from the excess water is removed from the or is excreted. And then other waste material also present in the plants, and it will be stored in the plant cell vacuoles. It can be stored in the vacuoles of the plant. You already studied structure of a cell in the earlier classes. You can see nucleus. A large vacuole will be there. This is vacuole. The vacuole, cell membrane, everything is the structure. You can, this is a vacuole. The waste material may be stored. And it in the case of leaves, this waste material stored in the leaves, when the leaf will become old, when the leaf becomes old, you can see the leaf will fall down. So that along with that leaf, the waste also is removed. So this is another method. You can see oxygen, carbon dioxide, water, we finished. Then next other waste material produced in the plant. It is stored in the vacuoles, plant cell vacuoles, and this if it is present in the leaf, and you can see when the leaf fall down, when the leaf, you can see when the leaf is old, it will fall down, along with that waste also will be removed. And the other method is, some of the waste material it is stored in the plant as gums. Gums or pasha. If you make a wound in that plant, you can see gum, pasha, like even cashew nut, and even other resins, and also resins, that also is pasha. You know, many of these waste materials stored in the plants are useful for us. Even rubber latex, these are some of the waste material that is stored in the plants, and then it is when that part of the plant becomes old, it will be removed. So this is another way it is removed from the plant. You can see the waste may be stored in the plant as resins, pasha, പശ പോലുള്ള സാധനങ്ങൾ, അതുപോലുള്ള മറ്റു സാധനങ്ങൾ. മെനി ഓഫ് ദം ആർ എക്കണോമിക്കലി യൂസ്ഫുൾ. നമുക്ക് വളരെ ഉപയോഗമുള്ള പല സാധനങ്ങളും പ്ലാന്റ്സ് ആർ സ്റ്റോറിങ്. ആൻഡ് ദിസ് ഈസ് റിമെയിൻ ഇൻ ദ പ്ലാന്റ്. And so that is another method of keeping waste. Lastly, some of the waste material may be go out through the root into the soil. Some of the waste can go out into the soil, even that is also another method. So these are some simple methods of removal. Usually these resins and all those kind of stored in the old xylem. Old xylem vessel, you can say all these will be replaced very soon, and it will be stored in the old xylem. This resin, pasha, kundrika, all these things we are getting it from the plants. So actually that is plant based. We are using for economical use. So this is the end of this chapter, and see some questions there. Describe the structure and functioning of nephrons. Even yesterday I explained. You have to draw the diagram and explain how it is the filtration of the blood takes place and the urine is produced. Then what are the methods used by plants to get rid of excretory product? Just now I mentioned some important methods of removal of waste materials in plants. And lastly, how is the amount of urine produced is regulated. The urine production is regulated by the amount of water that is present in the blood. If more water is there, more urine will be produced. Less water in the blood, you can see less urine is produced. So these are some of the questions there. We discuss the question later again. Now, I am giving you two questions that appeared from this chapter, life processes. I am going to write it on the board and you try to find out the answers. Last year question from this chapter. So this is the question. Question number 18 in the question paper. See, I hope you can see. Complete the following chart. So what you should do, see, I read the question once again. Gastric glands in the stomach contain the whole of the stomach. It produce secretions which contain A, B and C. So gastric juice contain three things. A, you have to write A, what is A, B and C in gastric juice. And then what is the function of each? A function here, B function here, C function here. This is one question, 3 mark question, meaning each answer will get a half the mark, and this is one question that was there in the last year question paper. Question number 2 again from this chapter. Question number 2. Question number 28 in this question paper. It's actually a 5 mark question. I explained this one very well. Blood circulation in fishes is different from human beings. Justify. So, blood circulation in human being and fish they are different. And so this statement, you have to justify this statement. The statement you have to justify. If it is correct, you have to explain that one. Describe, be part of the same question. Describe blood circulation in human beings. Describe the blood circulation in human being. You know, two circulations are there. All you have to explain. So this is a 5-mark question. Question number 25, 5 mark. Essay type question. Try to answer these questions. Write it in the notebook. Explain. If you have any doubt, next class you can ask this any doubt. If you can ask. These are the two questions appeared in the last year question paper. Now, exercise questions. Just we go through the exercise question. Some of this we cannot finish it all. Some of the exercise question let us see. Multiple choice questions you have already finished, and see what are the other questions. So the next question is this one. How are fat digested in our bodies? How are fat digested in our body? Where does this process take place? Actually, you can see it is a fat digestion takes place. You have to look in the book. Takes place in the small intestine. The first part of the small intestine, the liver is connected, and the liver produces bile juice. You have to write in the notebook. The liver produces bile juice. What is the function of bile juice? It helps the emulsification of fat. What is emulsification? Breaking the big particles of fat into small particles, and this one is called emulsification. So that is the first part. Then you can see enzymes are present in the pancreatic juice. Then you can see pancreas is there under the stomach. There is a pancreas. Pancreas produces pancreatic juice. It contains an enzyme called lipase. And one more gland is there in the small intestine. The wall of the small intestine produce intestinal juice, and this also contains enzyme lipase. This lipase enzyme, it will break down fat into fatty acid and glycerol. That is the end product. Fat in it changes to fatty acid and glycerol. So two places actually important changes are to the fat we are eating is emulsification of fat, breakdown of fat by pancreatic juice and intestinal juice. The enzyme is lipase enzyme. Random enzyme same ആണ് lipase enzyme. Final product is also the final product is fatty acid and glycerol. And that is one question you have to answer that one by yourself. Second question is this one. What is the role of saliva in the digestion of food? So you already studied that one. Saliva first will it help the chewing of food, mixing the food with saliva. So that is the first thing. You can see it moistens the food and mix it with the food and easy to swallow. That is one function. That is no chemical change there. Second important function is starch present in the food. It will combine with an enzyme in the saliva. The enzyme in the saliva is called salivary amylase, and it will break down starch. Starch. It will be broken down to what is called complex sugar called maltose. This name is not there in the textbook. You can just write even sugar. There is no problem. Final product is not this is a complex sugar. That is why if you keep starch in the mouth for some time, you will feel a sugary taste. So that is a change. That is a function of saliva in your mouth. The first one mixing with the food, and easy for swallowing. And the second one is breaking down of starch into complex sugar called maltose, or if you want you can write it sugar. So that is the function of saliva. So when the food broken down into small pieces, action of salivary amylase will be easier. Next question, what are the necessary conditions for autotrophic nutrition? Autotrophic nutrition means photosynthesis. What are the conditions? What are the things needed for that one? You can see chlorophyll is needed, carbon dioxide is needed, water is needed, sunlight is needed. These are the things that are necessary for photosynthesis, and the optimum temperature also is needed. And these are the conditions. Once again, you know carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll, sunlight, and the optimum temperature. Next, what are its byproducts? Byproducts of molecular oxygen, that is a byproduct. Glucose, photosynthesis byproduct ആയിട്ട് വരുന്നത്, it is actually oxygen is the byproduct. What is the difference? Next question is, what is the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration? Aerobic respiration, actually we can write even up to 4 differences. In aerobic respiration, what is used? Oxygen is used. Anaerobic respiration, no oxygen is used. Point 1. Second one, oxidation of glucose is complete in aerobic respiration, meaning glucose will change to carbon dioxide and water in aerobic respiration. In anaerobic respiration, you already studied, the breaking down of glucose is not complete. You can see ethanol or ethyl alcohol or lactic acid will be produced in anaerobic respiration, which also is studied. So that is the second difference. The end product of aerobic and anaerobic respiration, carbon dioxide and water, these are the end product. In anaerobic respiration, you can see ethyl alcohol and or a lactic acid. So first difference, oxygen is used and oxygen not used. Second one, the complete breakdown of glucose take place, partially broken down. Third one, aerobic respiration products are carbon dioxide and water. Anaerobic respiration product can be alcohol, ethyl alcohol or lactic acid. Last one, which one produces more energy? Aerobic respiration, of course, more energy is produced at the time of aerobic respiration. Less energy is produced at the time of anaerobic respiration. So these are some of the questions. We will discuss the remaining question during the next class. And I hope you understood. Today we discussed mainly about excretion in plants, and also 2 questions which appeared in the last year paper. That also I wrote it, you have to find out the answer. And finally we answered some of the questions up to question number 8 in the textbook. We answered, and try to answer yourself in your notebook. And it's okay. Continue next class.